Hello, my wonderful friends. Megas here. Welcome back to the library. You guys know I love beautiful prose, beautiful writing. What I'm going to share with you is thousands of years old. It was written by a pharaoh, Akhenaten, and it's the great hymn to the Aten, to the sun. They were sun worshipers. And he just really, you feel it. It's more than hearing it. It's more than understanding it. You feel it in your stomach. Just his love for the life that the sun brings. And so it only take me 5 minutes to read it. Just out of respect, I ask that you stay and listen with your heart. See if you don't feel it in your stomach. The beauty. I've read a lot of ancient text. I don't know if I've seen anything this poetic and this beautiful. Thou appearest beautifully on the horizon of heaven, thou living Aten, the beginning of life. When thou art risen on the eastern horizon, thou hast filled every land with thy beauty. Thou art gracious, great, glistening, and high over every land. Thy rays encompass the lands to the limit of all that thou hast made. Thou art the ray, thou reachest to the ends of them, thou subduest them for thy beloved Son. Though thou art far away, thy rays are on earth. Though thou art in their faces, no one knows thy going. When thou settest in the western horizon, the land is in darkness in the manner of death. They sleep in a room with their heads wrapped up, nor sees one eye the other. All their goods which are under their heads might be stolen, but they would not perceive it. Every lion is come forth from his den. All creeping things they sting. Darkness is a shroud, and the earth is in stillness. For he who made them rest in his horizon. At daybreak, when thou arisest on the horizon, when thou shinest at the Aten by day, thou drivest away the darkness and giveth thy rays. The two lands are in festivity every day, awake and standing upon their feet, for thou hast raised them up, washing their bodies, taking their clothing, their arms are raised in praise at thy appearance. All the world, they do thy work. All beasts are content with their pasturage. Trees and plants are flourishing. The birds which fly from their nests, their wings are stretched out in praise of thy Ka. All beasts spring upon their feet. Whatever flies and alights, they live when thou hast risen for them. The ships are sailing north and south as well, for every way is open at thy appearance. The fish in the river dart before thy face. Thy rays are in the midst of the great green sea. Creator of seed and women, thou hast made fluid in man, who maintained the son in the womb of his mother, who soothest him with that which stills his weeping. Thou nurse even in the womb, who givest breath to sustain all that he has made, when he descends from the womb to breathe on the day which he is born. Thou open his mouth completely, thou suppliest his necessities. When the chick in the egg speaks within the shell, thou givest him breath within it to maintain him. When thou hast made him his fulfillment with the egg to break it, he comes forth from the egg to speak at his completed time. He walks upon his legs when he comes forth from it. How manifold it is, what thou hast made. Thou art hidden from the face of man, O soul godlike, whom there is no other. Thou didst create the world according to thy desires, while they were alone, all men, cattle, and wild beasts, whatever is on earth, going upon its feet, and what is high, flying with its wings. The countries of Syria and Nubia, the land of Egypt. Thou settest every man in his place. Thou suppliest their necessities. Everyone has food, and his time of life is reckoned. Their tongues are separate in speech. and their natures as well. Their skins are distinguished, as thou distinguished the foreign peoples. Thou makest a Nile in the underworld that bring forth, as thou desirest to maintain the people of Egypt. According as thou madest them for thyself, the Lord of them all, wearing himself with them, the Lord of every land, rising for them, the Aten of the day, great of majesty. All distant foreign countries, thou makest their life also. For thou hast set a Nile in heaven, that it may descend for them and make waves upon the mountains, like the great green sea, to water their fields and their towns. How effective they are, thy plans, O Lord of eternity. The Nile in heaven, it is for the foreign people, and for the beasts of every desert that go upon their feet, while the true Nile comes from the underworld for Egypt. Thy rays suckle every meadow. When thou risest, they live, they grow for thee. Thou makest the seasons in order to rear all that thou hast made, the winter to cool them, and the heat that they may taste thee. Thou hast made the distant sky in order to rise therein, in order to see all that thou dost make. Whilst thou wert alone, rising in thy form as the living Aten, appearing, shining, withdrawing, or approaching, thou madest millions of forms of thyself alone, cities, towns, fields, road, and river. Every eye beholds thee over against them, for thou art the Aten of the day over the earth. Thou art in my heart, and there is no other that knows thee save thy Son. For thou hast made him well versed in thy plans and in thy strength. The world came into being by thy hand, according as thou hast made them. When thou hast risen, they live. When thou settest, they die. Thou art lifetime thy own self. For one lives only through thee. Eyes are fixed on beauty until thou settest. All work is laid aside when thou settest in the west. But when thou risest again, everything is made to flourish for the King. Since thou did found the earth and raise them up for thy Son, who came forth from thy body, living and youthful forever and ever. Oh, beautiful, beautiful words. As you go out today, be thankful for that beautiful sun. Feel its warmth and the life that it gives. This life would be awfully dark and cold without the sun. Listen to the birds sing and see the life that it brings, the joy. My friends, especially during the springtime, as I see the trees budding and the flowers and the smells of the earth, we can thank the sun. I love, love, love you.